Hello, teacher, and maybe the class. Today I will talk about Introduction to Critical Thinking, which is the first chapter of the Critical Thinking book. This book emphasizes the importance of disciplined thinking, critical thinking, and personal growth in college education. College focuses on fostering higher order thinking, active evaluation of ideas in information rather than passive information, and rote learning. The main goal is to teach students how to think, becoming independent, self-directed thinkers and learners, rather than just passively absorbing information. Critical thinking involves clear and intelligent thinking, involving cognitive skills and intellectual dispositions to identify, analyze, and evaluate arguments and truth claims. It helps overcome personal biases, formulate convincing reasons, and make reasonable decisions. Critical thinking is disciplined thinking governed by clear intellectual standards, including clarity, precision, accuracy, relevance, consistency, logical correctness, completeness, and fairness. These standards are essential for making informed decisions. Critical thinking standards. Clarity. To evaluate a person's argument or claim, it is crucial to understand their clear expressions. These can be due to laziness, carelessness, or a lack of skill, or a misguided effort to appear clever or profound. Martin Heidegger's book, Being and Time, highlights the importance of temporality in allowing unity of existence, plasticity, and falling. Madness can destroy life and hope, and critical thinkers strive for clarity of language and thought. To achieve personal goals, individuals need a clear conception of their goals, prioritizations, abilities, and understanding of problems and opportunities. Pursuing clarity of thought is essential for achieving self-understanding and achieving personal goals. Precision. Detective stories showcase critical thinking, with Sherlock Holmes being a famous example. Holmes' success is due to his commitment to precision, which involves careful observation and logical inference. This precision is not only recognized in specialized fields like medicine, but also in daily life, where it is necessary to provide precise answers to questions about problems, alternatives, and advantages and disadvantages. Only when we consistently seek precision are we truly critical thinkers. Accuracy. The saying garbage in, garbage out suggests that putting bad information into a computer can lead to bad decisions. This is exemplified by America's involvement in Vietnam, where policymakers were not stupid, but were influenced by false information. Factors such as ignorance of Vietnam's history, exaggerated strategic importance, and unrealistic assessments of the war's progress contributed to poor decisions. Critical thinkers value accurate, timely information and strive to make informed decisions, learning and growing in a spirit of Socrates' philosophy. Relevance. In a case where Judge Stephen T. Logan opposed Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln used a clever trick to distract the jury. He referenced Logan's style of dress, causing him to mistakenly draw his t-shirt over his hat. This caused the jury to laugh, which ultimately destroyed Logan's eloquence. Lincoln's ploy was entertaining and successful in distracting the jury's attention. But if the jurors had been more critical, they would have realized that carelessness about a theory doesn't necessarily impact the strength of arguments. Consistency. Consistency is crucial in critical thinking as it answers truth and avoids inconsistencies in one's own thinking and others' arguments. There are two types of inconsistencies: logical inconsistency and practical. People often display a capacity for self-deception, and critical thinking helps us recognize and deal with these unconscious inconsistencies. Unknowingly, people may hold inconsistent beliefs about a subject, and critical thinking helps us recognize and avoid these inconsistencies. Logical correctness. Logical thinking, as described by Bertrand Russell, is common in human affairs. It involves drawing well-founded conclusions from beliefs, while illogical thinking, such as the nuns who wear bathrobes, is often overlooked. This illogical thinking is curious, but not uncommon. Completeness. We generally prefer deep, complete thinking over shallow. Superficial ones condemn slipshod investigations, has the jury deliberations, and superficial news stories. While some issues may require depth, overall deep, true thinking is better than superficial ones. Fairness. Critical thinking requires fair, open-minded, and impartial thinking, which can be challenging due to individual biases and preconceptions. However, basic fair-mindedness is essential for a critical thinker. The benefits of critical thinking. After examining some of the fundamental intellectual principles regulating critical reasoning, like clarity, accuracy, let's now focus on what you may get from a critical thinking course in more detail. College professors prioritize higher order thinking, emphasizing the active evaluation of ideas and information. Critical thinking courses teach students skills such as understanding others' arguments, critically evaluating them, and developing and defending their own well-supported arguments. These skills improve comprehension of difficult material, critical evaluation of learning, and the ability to develop persuasive arguments on specific topics. Critical thinking in the workplace. Surveys show less than half of college graduates can work within 5 years, indicating changing workplace needs for employees with good thinking and communication skills. Critical thinking in life. Critical thinking is valuable in various contexts beyond the classroom, helping avoid foolish personal decisions, promoting democratic processes, and enriching personal lives. It helps us avoid misguided decisions, promotes informed decision-making, and helps us question prevailing customs and ideologies. Critical thinking also allows us to lead self-directed, examined lives, which is the ultimate goal of a liberal arts education. Barriers to critical thinking. The article explores the complex reasons why uncritical thinking is common and difficult for many, including highly educated and intelligent individuals, despite its importance. Egocentrism. Egocentrism is the belief that reality is centered on oneself. often manifested in self-interested thinking and self-serving bias. Self-interested thinking accepts that and defends beliefs that harmonize with one's interests, but it can hinder critical thinking. Self-serving bias overrates oneself, claiming to be better than one actually is. Studies show that self-serving bias is common with many people, rating themselves above average in certain areas. It is important to be honest about personal strengths and weakness, set high goals, and maintain self-confidence for personal and intellectual growth. Sociocentrism. Sociocentrism is a group-centered thinking that can hinder rational thinking by focusing excessively on the group. It can distort critical thinking through group bias and conformism. Group bias is a tendency to see one's own group as inherently better than others, which is common throughout human history and across cultures. Conformism refers to the tendency to follow the crowd, often unthinkingly, and can cripple critical reasoning and decision making. Two classic experiments by Solomon Asch and Stanley Milgram demonstrate that authority can move us, influencing and intimating us, leading to abandoning our own values, beliefs, and judgments. As critical thinkers, it is essential to develop habits of independent thinking to combat these seductive forces. Unwarranted assumptions and stereotypes. An assumption is something we take for granted without proof or conclusive evidence, and it is essential in our daily actions. While we may not always make assumptions, they are warranted and can prevent us from seeing this clearly. Stereotypes based on hasty generalization can be false or misleading. Stereotypes are often influenced by media and other sources, such as news and media. It's crucial to become conscious of our assumptions and take steps to end them, as they are the basis for our attitudes, actions, and decisions. Relativistic thinking. College professors often give students a D grade due to their lack of reasons to support their opinions. This is due to relativistic thinking, which views truth as a matter of opinion. There are two popular forms of relativism: subjectivism and cultural relativism. Subjectivism states that what an individual believes in true is true for them, and there is no objective or absolute standard of truth. Cultural relativism, on the other hand, believes that what is true for an individual is what their culture or society believes in true. Moral relativism, the most common form, comes in two major forms: moral subjectivism and cultural moral relativism. It is popular among the young due to its appeal to the nature of moral disagreement and the value of tolerance. However, there are deep problems with cultural moral relativism, as illustrated in a role-playing scenario. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking, a common human tendency, involves believing something based on a desire for certainty, often leading to negative consequences. People often create myths about the unknown death and physical abilities, believing they can prevent certain events from happening to them. Characteristics of a critical thinker. This chapter discusses critical thinking's nature, standards, benefits, and impediments. It contrasts intellectual traits of critical thinkers with uncritical thinkers. Critical thinking can be a rewarding and transformative experience if approached as disciplined thinking habits. That's all I want to tell you today. Thank you for listening to me.